Aquarius, there is a fickle nature of energy that surrounds your frequency at this moment, which requires for you to use absolute discernment in protecting that which is the most important to you. Let's have a look for you. This is the Arcana Veil. And we have Sagittarius here. Ambition, lucky, moral, optimistic, enthusiastic, cross. Oops. Immersive, and this is the Arcana Veil. So you are investing in certain things on an energetic level that, or an emotional level, that are creating some energetic ripples into your pathway, which is actually quite brilliant to do that, to experience that. Excuse me. At the heart of your nature, we have the immersive experience here, which relates to that which you're seeking to. And there's a very distressed ibis. That is called the Hadida, or the sacred ibis. They actually come around and announce when things are not okay, when they're extremely sensitive. So the fact that they've presented themselves in this reading for you is telling you that there are certain things in the finer parts of the frequency that are perhaps that you are being warned to look at with care. It's not a warning to give you fear, but you're being shown to be careful that you don't get sucked into certain things that are there to cause you distress in some way, shape, or form. In other words, to be very careful of the finer prints. Read the fine print. I'm hearing that as well. Some of you may have had some encounters with religious people or folk around you. This, like I said, remember, this is an Aquarius collective, so this may even be for cross watchers or people that are observing Aquarians. Either way, is this going to be part of something that can ascertain and serve you in your overall spiritual vision? Yes. But you're being shown to be very mindful of how much of details you're going into. As you can see, the hair. You could be someone with a lot of with wild hair, like that. So you're being shown to be mindful that you don't go into too much hyper focused detail, because that is where you may at times lose the track of your pathway. So you're being reminded to expand outward a little bit more, sort of to bring more concentration to your focus, to your vision. And that is really all that it is. This message is saying, you can look at something in its minutest form and you may lose the detail overall of what it would have represented in a bigger picture. So in other words, you're being shown how to flex your muscle of looking in and out of things. Flex the microscope lens. Alchemist. This is the Temperance card. I've called it the Alchemist. This is where the process takes you in terms of learning how to process what you have known before. In other words, you're actually breaking away from traditional things that used to hold you in a particular light, or you were seen in a particular way, or ideas that you used to believe you had of certain things. We have the Queen of Swords here at the heart of nature, which is exactly why you're being shown to be very careful with all of the information that you may be looking at or gathering that may lose its detail. So in other words, for some of you, it's going to say, stop, don't nitpick so deeply onto something. Don't nitpick it. Don't try to cut down to its barest little essential forms, because you're losing the experience, chariot, of the pathway that you're going through. Now, it's actually a gift to have such an analytical mind. Queen of Coins here. The question is, to what extent is it a gift? And that is just a rhetorical statement. It's not really even a question that I'm posing at you or said in any way, shape, or form to cause any discomfort, but to challenge your mental acuity in this energy, because that is what Aquarians enjoy, is mental challenges. Now, I'm not saying everyone likes to be a puzzle builder. I'm not saying that at all, because some Aquarians do not have that much of a mental focus, but there is a particular consciousness that's in this reading that I'm communicating with right now. And it's saying, if you go into deep in analyzing and hyper-analysis, it can lead to analysis paralysis type of thing. I hate that quote. So I'm going to say this: rather learn to adjust your scope to expand a little further back so you can see what you're looking at. What is in the underworld, or that which is where you will mine out from most amazing gifts, infinite potential gifts. The alchemist is supported by the hermit. So your very, very powerful frequencies are saying that you need to step back a little and be able to observe where your light needs to go towards, so that you can have the ability to balance that which you look into, which you have within inside of you. Because the ability to want to look at things up close and macro or microscopic natures is often an external experience when there is a requirement for that particular focus that feels lacking inside of the self. And so here, the Seven of Vessels is actually showing you that this is because of that, perhaps being hypercritical of yourself in certain ways. Not everybody is going to align with this reading, and I'm not wanting everybody to align with it. This is specific to the energy that I'm reading in this reading. So what I'm saying is this is a collective Aquarius reading. Okay. So it's not for everyone. And you can take from it medicine. And that is what I would like for people to do, is to take medicine from the readings, whether you are this collective or that collective. This is why these readings are here, is to bring medicine. We have the Seven of Vessels here, which is bringing the information in place for you that says that you are looking into things in yourself that may come from perhaps a judgment of the past. Perhaps you had strong judgment over you for who you were. I'm hearing someone that came out of the closet and got judged to pieces for it. I'm hearing someone that was not accepted by the community. It's making my nose itch. There's an annoyance there, yeah. We have the Nine of Wands here underneath the Queen of Swords. Unearthing the ability to, rather, instead of doing this in the coldest cut off way, you have the fire underneath, you have the guidance even. Look here, Nine of Wands. It's actually quite a lovely card. The hunter is not by himself, and he is observing all things around him. He is aware that he is protected by his dog. Okay. I'm calling him a hunter because you have a dog with you in the forest. That would be a hunting dog. And to keep it simple like that. Okay. Five of Wands, again, same thing. Constantly having to defend yourself against certain people here because of what you believe and what you know of yourself. That is so crazy, that noise. Anyway, that is interesting because that guy is sawing a piece of the tree. We had a very powerful windstorm here, and it broke trees, massive trees down. And so, obviously, he's cutting off that which is left behind. And maybe that is for you something important to keep in mind, that you are being reminded to cut off dead trees that don't serve you anymore, This is why you've got the Queen of Swords in your heart space, but you're being reminded to be careful, to be gentle, because the Queen of Swords, if she's in the heart space, she likes to stay there because it's warm there. So you need to be careful how you treat your queen inside of your consciousness, that you don't let her stay there and become Ice Queen. Okay. Outcome. 7 of Wands, giving you a little bit of something to negotiate with. This is something to keep in mind. Expand further out so you're able to observe the entire process. And the outcome is the Tower. So there you go. That is what you want. You want the Tower to come through. You want the Tower to quicken your passage towards your healing. You want it to snap things in place so that you are able to clear away from all of that debris that has caused you to perhaps harden your heart against certain things. And when I say this with due respect, because you had to put yourself in this position. I'm not saying you had to, you are naturally like that. You're actually a very warm-hearted person. I mean, the dog and the animals in your reading says that you're a very loving, warm person. So this is for the Aquarius Collective. Perhaps this was specific to some of you, and I will leave this with you. If this has been helpful in any way, shape, or form, please remember to drop a comment down below or an emoji. I'd love to connect with you. And this was the Arcana Veil. Until next time.